Welcome back to another episode of Card Watch Market Update, January 18th, 2024. Welcome back everyone, MTG Moxman here. So today we're taking a look at some cards that are moving, some cards that are not moving. Some cards that are actually seeing massive increases, such as Crashing Footfalls going up by 50% in price. Like, some of the price increases we're seeing on the market are directly correlated to the singles market. You can look at daily changes and weekly changes. You can see they're climbing $4 or $5. You can take a look to see where all these cards are printed to give you a better understanding of when the likelihood of a reprint is coming, because in this kind of sealed market, we are likely, if not undeniably so, going to see most of these cards reprinted. So players who are trying to time the market need to take a lot of this information into account. Crashing Footfalls is definitely one of those cards. Now, of course, it's not the only one. When we take up the Secret Lair series, the Triceratops here kind of gets me every time I see Jurassic Park cards. It's gone up by 41.79%. It looks like some dramatic, massive increase, but it went from $5 to $8. It's definitely increased in price, and there are players showing an interest in the Jurassic Park cards. But that increase, when you take a closer look, is only a couple of dollars. It is definitely not the be-all, end-all, and of course, because it's based on the card that already exists and it's just new skin on the card, there's a lot of printings of this card that are a lot less expensive. So players need to keep that in mind. Where does this card have value? Why are players desiring it? And what is the likelihood of a quick reprint coming along? Now, our next card is Phyrexian Metamorph, the Borderless Edition. You can see it's had quite the spike in the price. This is the Double Masters version I'm sharing with you guys right now on the channel. But when we look at cards like this, you need to look what formats it's going to be played in. Yes, it's gone up in price, and we see an increase of 23.83%. You can see there the daily change is $2 and change. That's quite significant for a card like this. The weekly change is up over $10. You can see it's being played in a variety, a multitude of decks right now. This is a very popular card, and that means the price is being driven that way, which means Wizards is more likely to reprint it, even though we saw it in Double Masters, Mystery Boosters, new Phyrexia Secret Lair series, and we know Wizards is cashing in on cards like this. When it has a spike like this, a popularity boost, it's something that players like to enjoy. They want to play with the card, but that increased value does lend itself to something that may be bought, sold, or traded. Now, for older cards, when we're taking a look at some of the cards that are not reserve list but older, some of these cards become popular because new game mechanics come out. We know with Bloom Burrow coming, we see a lot of wolves and things starting to appear in new recent sets, so it makes no surprise that Wily Wolf, which says tap any creature in play to give a +1/+1 till end of turn, right? It's kind of interesting to be able to tap the wolf and give a +1/+1 for only 2 mana. It's a very nice little game effect, and the price shows it. Now, the fact that this thing is not reserve list, you can see Arabian Nights, the classic 6th edition and 5th edition. For anybody collecting an old school card, that's great, but there are much more cheaper available copies in the 6th and 5th edition that players don't have to go breaking the bank if they're trying to buy a card of this type. Now, please remember that. Unless you want style, save yourself the money. Our next card is going to be Magus of the Moon, and this is the Future Sight version. You can see, again, these cards are seeing an uptick, and a lot of the Magus cards are. This one in particular, when you take a look, you can see that the Magus, of course, you know, it's basically a Blood Moon, right? Non-basic lands are mountains. It's cheap to cast. It's a creature that gives the same game effect you're looking for, and it can mess people up. But a 16.52% increase on this card does give one pause to see what the likelihood after Iconic Masters, Time Spiral Remastered, when could this card see another printing, and is it worth buying now for that price range? It's a pretty decent price to get the card at, and Wizards is unlikely to throw this thing in anytime soon, in my personal opinion. Now, our next card is going to be a reserve list card. This is Gwendolyn LaCourcie. Now, these cards are going down, okay? Gwendolyn hit like a massive spike. You guys remember this. When you're looking at the market of cards in MTG Finance, understand, cards go high, cards go low, based on what somebody tells you, word of mouth, FOMO kicking in. So when you see her price go up like a rocket, and you can see there's daily changes of $50, $80, $100, it takes a long time for players who have bought this card to make it finally come down. But it is reserve list, and cards like that, they've only been printed once, and they're not coming around again. So it's always something that players who want this card are going to look at, but at the same time, how much is it being played? Now, Sunfall, this thing has been everywhere. It's a very popular card, but it's seeing a decrease in price. It's down by 28.62%, okay? This thing, I have used it multiple times already. I love the card. I'm playing it in my standard deck, but it looks like the wax is wearing off. The shine is giving way a little bit, and players just aren't as interested in using it right now. But that doesn't mean it's getting a reprint anytime soon, and that doesn't mean a card like this is losing value. Okay, this thing only has one printing right now. You can see the March the Machine, the pre-release, and of course the promo packs, but it's all March the Machine. Where could a card like this go? Well, it's going to be used in Commander. It's going to have a home. Until it gets a reprinting, you may see it jump around a bit, and as the new sets get released this year, it'll really kind of determine how playable that card is going to be with what else Wizards of the Coast offers us. Okay, we have Gix Yawgmoth Praetor, minus 12.48%. It's down a few bucks. When you look at the card, and of course, it was on my top 10 last week. It was an incredibly popular card. People were buying it in droves, but it looks like there's a lot of supply because the card had a daily change of down $1. The weekly change is down about $6, and the likelihood of it getting a reprint anytime soon, not really likely, as Wizards is trying to, I think, build some equity, but you never know. So this price decrease is something that is going to be very popular for players, and they're looking forward to saving money on a lot of the cards that I'm sharing with you right now. The recent events of Wizards of the Coast and the pricing structure of the sealed Magic market has made me take a second look at what's happening in the singles side of Magic the Gathering. I will be covering as many cards as I can in upcoming videos on market analysis and MTG finance. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thanks again for hanging out with me, and of course, if you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another video. Of course, a shout out and thank you to all the fantastic patrons out there. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video as we try to ramp things up here on the channel. It's made possible because of the amazing patrons that inspire this content. Thanks again, everyone. Moments of inspiration. Welcome back, guys, to the Ramble Jamble. You've made it to the end. I know. What's going on, you're asking? Well, I've decided with these crazy single sales going the way they are, and the prices of cards going up and down so much, and just so much to cover on the market, I figured I would start covering some of the cards that I've noticed either getting higher sales or really shifting in price to give players a little bit of insight and input to what I think is going on. These videos will be less than 10 minutes in length, so I can still try to fit it in with my daily content, and I'm going to try to do them every day, but you never know how these things work out. The Moxman's a one-man show. We will try to do our best. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. You gave it a thumbs up. Guys, you're awesome. Thanks again for being here. This is your Ramble Jamble with a lot of coffee. Now I've got to get to my regular video because you guys know. You probably just saw this pop up on the video screen right now. Thanks again, guys.